There comes that one unvarnished moment in life when you recognize a harsh truth. No one is coming to save you. No epic motivational speech, no golden opportunity, no magical bolt from the blue through which everything suddenly makes sense. You stand all alone before the mountain of challenges that you have so masterfully avoided until now. This uncomfortable reality, however, is an enormous chance, because the most profound lessons of life can only be learned in absolute self-responsibility. Even if they are brutally uncomfortable, they forge you into an unshakable version of yourself, stronger than you could have ever imagined. Here are 10 difficult things that everyone must learn to do entirely on their own. Learn to be alone without being crushed by loneliness. Many people drown every spark of silence in an endless ocean of noise, music, TikTok feeds, or meaningless messages just to escape the confrontation with themselves. But as soon as you learn to embrace the silence and celebrate your own company, you decouple your happiness from cheap, constant distraction. Imagine it is Sunday evening. Instead of frantically filling the void with the next series, you just sit with a cup of coffee on the balcony. The smartphone lies unreachable in the other room. You watch as your true thoughts rise to the surface without immediately numbing them again in a dopamine rush. Pursue your goals and process setbacks in absolute silence. It is extremely tempting to tell the whole world about your big plans, but here's the psychological catch. When you tell others about your intentions, your brain rewards you with a premature feeling of recognition for something that you haven't even achieved yet. The fatal consequence: you instantly lose the burning hunger and the motivation to do the actual work. Keep your goals for yourself. Imagine you want to build your own business or run a marathon. Instead of immediately posting a highly motivated social media post and collecting likes, you train silently at 5 a.m. in the pouring rain while everyone else is sleeping. And if you fail, then you lick your wounds in private, make a new plan, and attack again. Your success will speak loudly enough for you later. Conquer places all for yourself. Doing things alone, whether it's visiting a fancy restaurant, a trip to the cinema, or a city break, is the ultimate test of your independence. The more you rest within yourself, the less you are dependent on the constant validation of a companion. For example, reserve a table for yourself at the city's best Italian restaurant on a busy Friday evening. Order your absolute favorite dish, enjoy every bite, and resist the panicked urge to stare at your phone just to pretend you're busy. Feel no pressure because you are your own best company. Make bold decisions without any guarantee. Life does not hand you a flawless blueprint. At some point, you have to turn the wheel, even if the destination port lies in thick fog. Anyone who always waits for absolute certainty wastes their life in the waiting room. Explosive growth occurs exactly when you jump into the unknown, despite a racing heartbeat. This is the moment when you quit that secure but soul-crushing job to realize your own idea. There is no soft safety net and no guarantee of success, but you jump anyway because you know deep down that standstill and regret are the far more deadly risks. Cut people out of your life who only poison you. Not everyone who has walked a part of your path with you deserves a ticket for your future. Some connections become toxically one-sided or act like an anchor that pulls you into the depths. Drawing a line hurts like hell, but it is the greatest act of self-respect you can perform for yourself. This means, quite specifically, you block the number of that one friend who only uses you as an emotional trash can when they want to complain. You accept that this only drains your energy, and you go your way quietly but with iron consistency. Be brutally honest about your own dark sides. It is wonderfully comfortable to blame circumstances, bad luck, or other people. However, it requires true greatness to look in the mirror and admit that you have yourself to blame for many problems through your own habits. Real transformation starts the second the excuses die. Instead of whining that you never have time and others pile too much on you, you ruthlessly admit that you waste hours every day pointlessly on your phone, are chronically unorganized, and create your stress completely yourself. Rebuild everything from the ashes. A complete new start can rip the ground from under your feet. You might lose your hard-earned progress, your warm nest, or your familiar environment. But almost every successful person once stood before the ruins of their existence. The new best chapter of your life begins exactly where the old one painfully ends. Imagine, after a heavy crisis, you stand with only 2 suitcases in a tiny, bare apartment. Instead of sinking onto the floor in despair, you buy your first piece of furniture, paint the walls, and begin to rebuild your empire stone by stone, according to your own rules. Dive completely into the offline world. We vegetate in a reality that continuously sucks out our attention. Flashing notifications and an endless stream of stimuli fight for every single second of your focus. Deliberately pulling the plug reminds you that your value is not measured by how many people are currently noticing you online. Take the test. Turn your smartphone completely off from Saturday morning until Sunday morning and lock it in a drawer. You are unreachable for anyone for 24 hours. You go into the forest, read a real book, and experience how your permanently stressed pulse truly comes to rest for the first time in weeks. Make your peace with the fact that you will be rejected. No matter how hard you try, some people will not agree with you, will criticize you harshly, or will completely twist your intentions. The attempt to win everyone's recognition is a battle you can never win. True inner peace only sets in when you stop living for other people's opinions. In practice, this means you stand at a party and refuse an impertinent request that crosses your personal boundaries with a calm but firm no. You withstand the shocked looks of the others because you finally put yourself first. Seize the steering wheel for your future. Your past is a part of you, but it does not have control over what happens next. The mistakes you made and the opportunities you missed do not have to define the rest of your life. The moment you take absolute responsibility is exactly the moment you reclaim your personal power. Because even if you can no longer change yesterday, you decide today who you will be tomorrow. No more excuses about difficult circumstances. You start today, set your alarm clock an hour earlier from now on, and work on the skills you need yourself. The strongest people are not those who avoid all discomfort. They are the ones who face them, learn from them, and move forward unstoppably anyway. Mental toughness is the very first step for this. But how do you become a person who can adapt lightning fast to any situation, solve every problem, and teach themselves every conceivable skill? In the next video, I will show you 4 Japanese principles that make you absolutely unstoppable through independent learning. If you want to know how to become a force to be reckoned with, then click here on the video or the link in the first comment. If these lessons on self-reliance have changed the way you view the challenges in your life, please subscribe and like this video. We are excavating the strength and the history that the world often tries to bury. Start planting the seeds of your own future today. The next treasure of wisdom will be open soon.